Good afternoon, guys. I'm over here at Cassone's RV here in Mesa, Arizona, and I had a viewer contact me because purchased a Tiffin Allegro bus, Class A diesel pusher, and they reached out to me hoping that maybe I could do an inspection for them. They've seen enough of my videos about roofs that they want me to inspect their roof to make sure that it is serviceable and ready for a long trip they're going to go on. Of course, I always recommend you have a roof inspected at least once a year, if not twice a year on an RV, especially before you buy it. But unfortunately, I can't always get to do all the inspections that everybody wants me to do. But the good news is, like I said at the beginning, I'm here over at Cassone's RV in Mesa, Arizona, and they are currently located in Mesa Spirit, which is in Mesa, Arizona, very conveniently located right behind Cassone's RV. So it's really just, I have to hop the fence, but I will, of course, drive my car. They don't like it when I just walk into their gate. It's definitely not a sponsored video at any rate for Mesa Spirit. It is a very nice RV resort, but it's also been a while since we've done just a roof inspection, and I thought it'd be a fun little quick video to make with you guys, and we'll see what we find. All right, that was a quick ride. Coming pardon here. I am very glad that they want to do a roof inspection. However, I do recommend, if you can, get the roof inspection done before you buy the coach. Hey, I'm going to
Know how to get there?
they said it's in the very, very back.
On the other side of Albuquerque.
Okay.
He's just waiting it back there.
All right, we're gonna take the shortcut he told me to take. There's the infamous pickleball courts. And if you follow the channel even a little bit, Mesa Spirit RV Resort plays pretty heavily and pretty prominently in a lot of my videos, because just behind Cassone's RV, they have those pickle courts, and a lot of times you'll hear those pickle courts in the background. I don't know about you guys, but I always get lost in these RV parks. That's where I'm supposed to be going over there. I'm on the wrong side. Okay, well, here we are. I think we made it. All right, I got my hat on and some sunglasses because it's still sunny here in October. Still pretty hot. These people found a 2009 Tiffin Allegro bus. I think I did a video about maybe one of the most perfect RVs out there is a 2007-2009 Tiffin Allegro bus, and they found one. But we'll go ahead and get on the roof and take a look at it. And of course, I like to use the ladder. And the paint on this rear cap looks really good, except for on the top where likely there's gonna be some peeling paint, some peeling clear. That's not too uncommon. Now, of course, Tiffins have a one-piece gel coat fiberglass roof, and it is seamless on the sides, but it does have a seam on the front and rear caps. The rear caps are fiberglass, and Tiffin does use a self-leveling silicone new Flex 311 or hang self-leveling silicone. I do generally like to lock the rear's cap seam to look for any movement in it. I'm not seeing anything. And of course, we do want to peer over the side, take a look at the molding right here. It looks like it's been touched up a few times, including right here. I don't know. Maybe I can recommend cleaning and resealing that. But of course, it is important to know that this is self-leveling silicone, so you don't want to use Dicor on it because Dicor won't stick to it at all. You can see how easily I can pick that back off again. And while it didn't look like this molding moved at all, I can see the screw head is protruding up and a little bit of rust is on it, so I would recommend we put that screw back down, make sure everything's set, and reseal back here if we need to. But so far, it's looking pretty good. I'm really hoping that I won't find anything big or important that they have to worry about, and that we got their inspection done out of the way and they can enjoy their new to them 2009 Tiffin Allegro bus. To be honest, I don't ever really like to find anything wrong. I'm hoping not to have to pick up the pen or write anything down. We'll look at the clearance light lenses. They don't look cracked. There is a little bit of checking going on the fiberglass, but that's not too uncommon. And this thing is now 13 years old. I'll look over on this side. Doesn't look too bad. That seam doesn't look bad. Obviously now this might be a little bit interesting. I have not made a video about this before, but there is a roof radius issue with Tiffin. And it looks like they already addressed it and the repair's been done. I don't know if you can see how nice this radius looks. The original fiberglass, which is right here, they cut it off right here because there was an issue with the radiuses cracking and having failures. And so Tiffin did have a repair for it, which was to cut off the fiberglass radius itself. epoxy this metal radius on it and then screw it back down again. So somebody's already taken the time to do that, so that's a really good thing to find on this. And I noticed it over here. It was just hard to see because I could see this sealant right there. So that means somebody's been taking care of this, and that's a nice expensive repair that's already been performed. But I will say the slide out topper is at the end of its life, so I will recommend a new one. This is, like I said, a one-piece gel coat fiberglass roof. It should be washed and waxed at least once a year too. This is the TV antenna. It's not omnidirectional. You can actually change the direction of it, but I do like this TV antenna. We'll walk along right here. There might be a little bit of movement in the roof, but that's okay. It's still intact and in good shape. Of course, this AC is on. We do want to check and make sure it's not loose. I can see we're missing some hardware on it, and that one's loose. So we just made a note of that. The AC itself isn't loose. The AC itself isn't loose, it's the shroud that's loose. So we'll have to get that addressed. Still look down here. Of course, we already know the slide out topper is bad. I mean, maybe I could recommend a new bead of sealant on this gutter cap the entire length, and definitely that slide out topper is at the end of its life too. Got the skylight here. We're gonna look on these. The Tiffins are a little bit more prone to cracking. At least these skylight lenses are. A little concerned, but might be under here. But just to satisfy myself, I did pull off that sealant right there, and there is that crack right there. So there is a crack on the skylight. So you can either reseal it and just monitor it and make sure the crack doesn't grow, or replace the entire skylight. And don't worry, I did put sealant back on the corner of that skylight where I took some of it off. But then I will take off these because we do want to make sure we take a look inside, and that we're just going to be using a 7/16 socket, and I'll undo these real fast. It definitely is nice to see that somebody did this. You have to be careful, these do like to break. That's why I like the ones that have the pins, so you can get underneath this and clean this a little bit more often. So I don't see any issues with this. Sealant looks really good. Just have two more of those to do. Of course, the good news is whoever installed these correctly. They didn't seal the vent lid down to the roof itself and get water trapped in there. You can see I can get my hands underneath right there, so water can get out. Dirt might get stuck, but at least water gets out. All right, and I'll take this one off now. Okay. All right, I look pretty good here. I'll get rid of that twig at least. Otherwise, besides some dirt, looks pretty good. No problem with the sealants. Don't see any problem with the base being cracked. But before I put that back on, might as well look over here. This radius has a awning rail built into it, which actually mitigated the problem with the radius, that fiberglass radius. So that seam basically stops right there where they did that repair. And this actually has that Dometic power awning, the Weather Pro, that has a built-in roller shade on it too that I like so much. You have a sewer vent here with the whirlybird on it. And let's see, looks like they used the right sealant that met up with the sealant. Okay, so yeah, we have self-leveling silicone sealant right here too. And one thing I will notice is that the sealant on these screw caps seems to be a little bit deteriorated. I would recommend they just go ahead and put another dab of sealant on top of the screw caps. The paint's flaking off of the metal wrap of the awning. Not a big deal, but the fabric itself is a little bit bunched up and loose. Usually, okay, so the seam's actually torn a little bit right there. But that would require a whole new fabric, but I'll make a note of it. All right, well, we will continue on here to the second roof AC. Now it's not missing the hardware at all. Lean against it, and it's not loose. We'll take a look at this. Sewer vent right here. Not seeing any issue with the sealant. This solar panel, sealant looks really good on both sides. It's a pretty decent sized solar panel to have on there. And that'll just take me back over to here, where we already know that this slide out topper, let's see what you think. It's a little bit threadbare, huh? So I'm definitely recommending a new slide out topper. And maybe just a cap seal all the way down. Take off the last vent cover right here. I don't always take these vent covers off because a lot of times the hardware that's on here will have issues, and I don't want to be responsible for breaking brittle plastic or stripping out hardware. But they just bought this thing, and I do want to make sure I don't leave any stone unturned. Surprisingly, although it's dirty, I don't see any issues with it. I'll put it back together. Again, that's why I do like the vent covers that use a cotter pen to hold the vent lid on, or the vents that have the incorporated vent cover within it. Okay, we're looking pretty good there. It looks like the satellite's been upgraded since the original factory one was put in. So that would have been the original factory cable through plate, and this would have been where the original satellite dish was. And those mounts look fine. Look like they did a good job installing this satellite. I don't know why I used the mounting plate. Usually use that for covering big holes, but looks like it's done just fine. I'm just talking about this big plate right here. That's not always that common to have on these Winegard Travelers. And this is a Dish Network one. This is just tape Eternabond being used to hold the cables down. And I know Eternabond lasts forever, so obviously somebody didn't prep the surface properly, right? But it's fine. When we come back over to the last one, we'll notice missing hardware again. I'll lean up against it. It doesn't seem to be loose. Okay. I definitely see how threadbare that slide out topper is. And we'll follow this all the way to this point. This original factory Sirius satellite radio antenna looks fine. Radio and CB antennas look good. Again, I will lock this front cap seam. Not seeing any issues there. Not a big fan of how they ran the cables from the satellite dish. I would have liked to have seen a cable entry plate, so I'll make a note of that. Just because you can never guarantee the sealant made its way where it needed to be, especially next to the cables. Look over the side here. I'm not seeing any issues, but we can see definitely on that slide out topper underneath that patio awning, it's at the end of its life too. We did go 4 for 4 with slide out toppers that needed to get replaced. And lastly, we'll take a look at the front cap. I don't see any real moisture problems in here. A lot of times these will have a lot of moisture in these lenses, and they do tend to crack, but I'm not seeing any real issues with it. There's a little bit of checking going on the roof. This is that fiberglass checking that you just can't really do anything about just from baking in the sun. And you'll see this lens, but you can see this clearance lens is a little bit cracked too. We'll just peer over the side to make sure that windshield gasket looks good. Looks good. We'll do the same thing over here. Not seeing the windshield falling out anywhere. But you know what? That was it. We just finished up the roof inspection on this 2009 Tiffin Allegro bus, and overall it looks pretty good. Now there is a little bit of looseness on the fiberglass material itself. It's not truly a delamination because this is a one-piece gel coat fiberglass roof, and it does float a little bit, so I would not be worried about any sort of a looseness on that. But we do want to wash and wax this a little bit more often. I do know the biggest issues that we were definitely found were the slide out toppers need to be replaced. I recommend resealing all of these right there. And we know that a couple of the AC shrouds are loose. But other than that, this is a really good looking roof. It's very solid. Didn't see anything that would indicate neglect. In fact, if anything, I found something that indicated somebody was taking care of it. As Tiffin did have that one issue with the radiuses, and they already took it, and that's already been taken care of on both sides. So overall, it's a really nice looking roof. I know the other question I always get is what sealants to use. Because Tiffin used self-leveling silicone, I would recommend self-leveling silicone on every place that the factory puts something down. When you add accessories, you can add whatever sealant you want to. Dicor will stick to fiberglass just fine, but it will not stick to self-leveling silicone. So you just need to make sure that you're not trying to mix the two sealants. I get to go give the owners some good information, hopefully, and they'll get these issues handled before they take off on a cross-country trip and they can feel good that their RV is in good shape and their roof is nice and secure, and good peace of mind. At any rate, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to have your roofs inspected before you purchase, or at least do it once every year, if not twice. All right, guys, well, I hope we learned a little bit of something about checking the roof on this 2009 Tiffin Allegro bus. It sure is a beautiful motorhome still. It's almost like I recommend these for a reason. And so you probably if you that she was not, even though we did that would it we did the inspect. I've never been in an RV park that made up for the I swear I've never been to an RV park where the layout makes any sense as far as the roads and the numbers go. I don't generally, I don't always take these vent covers off because